World War I was fought 100 years ago. In fact, the anniversary of its end will be on Veterans Day 2018. In Britain and France, World War I is still prevalent in many people's minds, but sadly in America, the war is largely forgotten in today's society. However, World War I is a very important period of history and still worth studying. One great resource from World War I is the Stars and Stripes, which was an American newspaper that was printed during the war. By looking at this paper, we can see the sarcastic, desensitized, and darker sense of humor that the war is famous for producing in those who lived and fought through it. This sense of humor is particularly interesting as it persists in many soldiers to this day. The Stars and Stripes was actually published by the American Expeditionary Force, which was the name of the American military force that came over to Europe to fight in the war. This paper was also one of the only forms of entertainment that soldiers had on the front. The Stars and Stripes was not only written and published by soldiers, but it was written specifically for circulation to soldiers in the American Army. This gives it a first-hand and inside view of real jokes and stories that actual soldiers will be telling each other on a day-to-day basis. As seen in the paper, these men joked about everything. Nothing was off topic to them. They joked about all their problems, and almost everything was a problem. Their bad food, awful trench conditions, annoying officers, disease, artillery fire, and the killing that surrounded them. At the end of a hard, stressful day, sitting in the trenches telling jokes and stories was a very grounding experience for many in combat. Life in the trenches and on the front lines was hard, and going into battle was harder. Despite the conditions these soldiers were in, they still retained their ability to laugh and joke with each other. Jokes let them paper over reality and replaced it instead with humorous stories. They had a choice to either look back in horror about the fact that a shell almost hit them that day, or they could make a joke about it and carry on. The unifying force of laughter played such a central role in bringing men together and allowing them to cope with their surroundings. The fact that these soldiers were able to overcome their circumstances through humor tells an amazing story about the quality of these men and the indomitable nature of the human spirit, a story that should not be forgotten today.